Stir up. Okay, good stuff. We should be rolling. All right. So we all know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and May 5th is National Silence the Shame Day. So naturally, there was only one woman that I wanted to talk to. You have been so vulnerable and transparent with your journey. And I believe that it's because of you, Shanti, and your organization, Silence the Shame, that we are getting closer to closing the gap on that stigma that comes along with mental health and wellness, especially in the Black community. So it is an absolute honor to have you with me today. Shanti Dawes, hello there, darling.
Hi, Tony. It's an honor for me to be on here with you today.
And just thank you so much for taking time out, because I know that you are, we're in New York City. You've been doing the press rounds. So you are in a taxi as we speak.
Yes. Headed to JFK to get back to the A.
Before the storms, yes. So Shanti, Silence the Shame was born out of your own personal experience. I saw one of your videos on Instagram where you were celebrating a big move with Sony Music, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But in that video, you said Silence the Shame came about because there was a period in which you wanted to take your own life. And I just cried. You were crying happy tears, but I was just crying because I couldn't imagine just, anyone who's met you, just the life that you bring to the party, if you will. I just couldn't imagine that. Can you tell us a little bit about that day and how Silence the Shame came about?
Absolutely. So it was tough, to your point, I was always bubbly, the life of the party with my friends and family. And, it's just a lot of trauma that I think was built up from my father taking his own life that I never dealt with over the years. Also, my sister, who unfortunately passed away 2 years ago, she, thank God for her, because she put herself through counseling when she was in college. And she always tried to convince me to go or recommend it. But I don't know if it was my ego or if it was the stigma that I just was like, I don't need it. And so fast forward, I had this wonderful job and career in the entertainment industry and, just dealt with a lot of pressures from that. And then I experienced some health issues. My mom developed Alzheimer's. So I quit and walked away and went back home. But I didn't even truly get a diagnosis with mental health challenges when I had walked away. But I just knew it was a lot going on and things weren't right. So fast forward in 2014, my best friend took her own life. That took a real toll on me internally. I did not talk a lot about it, but the pressure and the weight of it, because I talked to her, Tony, the day before it happened. So it was just debilitating in a sense. And then, in September of 2015, I had serious suicidal ideation. And it wasn't, I've said this before, it wasn't that I wanted to die. I just wanted the pain to go away. And so I felt it was my calling and my mission to be able to use my pain to be able to help others and really open up the conversation in a way I feel like has been done by some, but not a ton of people, especially in our community, right? Folks that look like us, and getting people to know that vulnerability is power and that being able to share your story is so important, because within the mental health community, storytelling is everything. Right. And it's all about sharing, or even when you're sick in general, when you can share the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Then you don't know who you're connecting with, whose life you're saving, whose family member or friend or colleague that you're affecting in a positive way. And I get calls all the time with people, and I say this in the most humble way, thanking me to land. And that's what we're supposed to do. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it. And I'm a mental health advocate to stay.
And it's amazing, because I'm telling you, because of you, I feel like we've been able to push this conversation forward, especially in our community. And it's interesting to hear you run down how it has affected your family and your friends. And because the stats show that 1 in every 5 individuals in the US experience mental illness each year. And that number is just startling. What are some of the signs that maybe someone might be struggling, and what's the best way to help?
Some of the signs, Tony, I think if you see differences in your personality, things that you don't recognize, withdrawing from friends and family, not wanting to participate in events or social events, being not motivated, right? Not wanting to get up in the mornings. You ever heard when people say, "Oh, I just didn't have the strength"?
Yes.
That's a thing. It's a thing. I've been there. not having the strength to wake up in the morning, not wanting to open the blinds, isolating yourself. And that's been hard enough with the pandemic for us just having to, stay quarantined. But the isolation has been really tough for certain people. So if you're starting to recognize those signs or symptoms within yourself or your kids, family members, it's time to open up that dialogue. And we have to stop just saying, how you doing? How you doing? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? That's what we want to be saying. And I coined a new acronym, right? The word RAP, because RAP is easy to remember. So RAP. So R is being able to recognize those unfamiliar feelings within yourself. The A is once you recognize it, then you got to acknowledge it. But at the same time as you acknowledge it, Tony, you got to accept it. Because how many times has something happened, we're like, oh, that was weird, and you go on about your day. But you got to accept that that's different. And then once you accept it, you got to process through it. And then when I say this, meaning get professional treatment. Talk to somebody, talk to someone who knows more than yourself, or even your primary healthcare physician if you don't feel comfortable yet with a therapist or a psychiatrist. Tell your doctor, tell somebody, because at least now when you do wellness check, PCP, they ask you if you're having any mental health challenges. So I'm glad that we've actually, made those strides just in the medical community. So RAP, wrap through those problems, get the help that you need, recognize, acknowledge, accept, and process.
And I want to pause really quick just to shout out to Larissa Milliner. She says, thank you for your transparency.
Oh, thank you. Hi,
Larissa. So let's talk a little bit about mental illness in the Black community. Why are we so ashamed when it comes to mental
health? So one thing is, we're proud people, right? And we are at the forefront of culture, and we make things happen. Urban culture is pop culture. So it's always a lot of good stuff happening in our community from a sports and entertainment and entrepreneurship perspective. So we're always trying to put our best foot forward, right? Even as humans, you try to put your best foot forward. You don't want anyone to think something is wrong with you, right? You want that C word that has such stigma in the community. And we throw the word crazy around a lot, which we really have to be careful with that, because words matter. Words are really important, especially when you talk about emotional health and wellness. And then I think from a deeper historical perspective, there's still a lot of trauma in the African-American community that date back to slavery, unprocessed trauma or things that have happened. And how many people that we see once they're older and in their 50s, men or women in our community, they talk about that they were abused as children, right? So trauma from things that have happened out of other issues within our lives and communities that we've never dealt with. It's that pent up trauma. And so we have to be okay with getting the help that we need to be able to process through that. And then I think we need to also learn to do family therapy, because, we do it a lot on our own or by ourselves. And it's nobody's business, but a lot of family need it, right? To learn to grow and process through together, especially when you talk about parents of African-American Black kids, boys and girls, and what they see racial pandemic and all that they need to be able to process through. You got to talk to your kids and talk to them with someone who can give you healthy ways to cope and ways that you can process through it as a family.
Yeah. And you've been nurturing a lot of different partnerships and everything. And the big news that you got a couple of months ago, tell us a little bit about the partnership with Sony Music.
Yes. So my good friend, John Platt, who's the chairman and CEO of Sony Music Publishing, decided to make Silence the Shame one of the nonprofits that they supported through their social justice initiative that started within the pandemic. And so we are so grateful for their gift, and it's going to allow us to, what we're doing is we're launching a curriculum called the Soundtrack of Mental Health. And that's essentially like 60-minute wellness trainings where like anybody that works in the music industry can take it for free. So we're going to start with their staff and then build out. But we're so grateful, and you can learn about self-care, understanding mental health, substance abuse, behavioral, any other things around behavioral health that you need to understand, and to get a basic understanding, right? Because we feel like education is what's so important. And it's so funny. I remember when I first started this little movement, 5 years ago, and people were like, organizations will pay for education and advocacy and awareness, like in that sense, right, for this community. And here we are now, and we're breaking barriers, and we're just so grateful. And that's doing our first ever A Brilliant Mind Gala tomorrow, so that we can continue to raise more funds, because we're truly grateful for what Sony did. So now we're hoping that more people will come on board, so we can train more individuals and get more, facilitators that can administer these trainings. So we need help. And we're still a small organization, and we want to grow our staff and team and be able to take this thing global, so we can silence the shame all around the world.
You are well on your way, girlfriend. I mean, every time I turn on the TV, I see you are doing it. And let's talk about tomorrow. It's a big night for you, A Brilliant Mind, your gala, a virtual experience of music. You've got a huge lineup.
We do. And again, thank God that, I have over 30 years of really great relationships in the entertainment industry. And I was able to reach back out to those friends and colleagues who are always so supportive. So we are Charlemagne the God. We're honoring singer Michelle Williams. We are honoring Dr. Spirit, who's a local clinician in Atlanta, but does a ton of work on a national level. And we're honoring D Nice, who came into all of our homes at a very difficult time during the pandemic, shining a light at a very dark time. And then we have appearances by Atlanta's own mayor, my mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Senator Reverend Dr. Raphael G. Warnock from Ebenezer, and I'm a member of Ebenezer as well. And he was there that night, Tony. From a text perspective, I texted a lot of emotional challenges, and he convinced me to go to the doctor and to get the help that I needed. So he's there. Common, Carrie Hilson, who I adore and has supported Silence the Shame a lot in the past. The singer Kim. We also have performances from Anthony Hamilton and Lecrae, and also the support from Kenneth Cole, the fashion designer. And I just want to shout out Kenneth Cole. He actually started a mental health coalition. So he has a really big organization that has all of these mental health advocacy groups together as one committee. And so Silence the Shame is proud to be a part of it. And hopefully we're going to do some great stuff with his coalition as well.
This is awesome. So how can people tune in? Where can they get tickets?
So it's free, just so everyone knows, free 99. You can go to our website, www.silencetheshame.com, and register for your free ticket. Also, it will be, we'll have a link up on our FaceTube page. You can follow us at Silence TH Shame on Facebook and Twitter. And then on IG it's at Silence the Shame. And so those that if you can't tune into the gala tomorrow, it is still National Silence the Shame Day. So you can text the word silence to 707070 and pledge your support to the organization. No amount is $1, $5, whatever it is. And then we're going to have these virtual frames, so you can upload your own photo to show how you silence shame on May 5th. So there are a lot of ways to support, and we just want to thank the Atlanta community. I want to thank KISS for the support over the years. And truly, as a native Atlantan, I am grateful and humbled to be on this platform today and sharing space with you, Tony.
And we are so grateful to have you. I mean, it is an absolute honor. And we're behind the movement. We'll stay behind the movement. You are going global. It's just, period. We're speaking that right now. Because you are, I mean, it's just incredible. And again, I can't say this enough. I just really feel like it's you and your Silence the Shame movement that is pushing this conversation forward, especially in our Black communities. And it just means so much. Shanti, is there anything else you want to leave the people with?
Gosh, also we have a podcast where we share a lot of really good content. We interview people with lived experiences, clinicians, celebrities, and tomorrow we're posting a really powerful podcast on songwriters for mental health. And so you can check out our podcast. Features Jonta Austin from Atlanta, who's a Grammy Award-winning songwriter. And so you can check that out under Silence and Shame on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or Spotify. We just joined Spotify. So check us out there. Like I said, follow us, get in the movement, start the conversation today. It starts within your own family. If people say, well, what can I do today? Dinner table talk, weekend table talk, red table. Look, do a red table, do a blue table, a yellow table in your own house. Do your own table talk and start the conversation so you can start normalizing it, and people will not be embarrassed about getting the help that they need to once and for all silence the shame.
And you have done that. Thank you so much for being so transparent. And it's just so, you're so powerful. This movement is so powerful. And we just appreciate you. And thank you so much.
You know
So
what? You're gonna make me cry because I did say my sister passed away 2 years ago, and one of the last things, Tony, that she said to me was, "You have a powerful movement."
oh, girl.
So you just took me
Absolutely.
right back
Oh,
to my sister. So thank you for that.
you're so welcome. And thank you, Shanti. We love you to pieces. You guys make sure you check it out tomorrow. A Brilliant Mind, her gala. It's free. SilenceTheShame.com. It starts at 8 o'clock. She's got a crazy lineup. You're going to enjoy it so much, and it's all for a good cause. Shanti Dobbs, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you
Have a
be safe.
wonderful day.
Yes, and be safe getting back to Atlanta.
Thank you. Traveling mercies needed. So all the kiss listeners, pray for your girl that I can get back to the A safely tonight.
We got you. Prayers up. Thank you so much, beautiful. Have a good one.
Thank you, Jackie from Sure Media. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Jackie.
Okay.
All right, girl. See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right.